on his victory through the name Babylon, de sua victoria per nomen Babylon. And after this dawn, for I have toiled through the night in my great love and care of thee. How is it with me? It is well, for I have found myself. I have found my will. The obstacles that daunted me are seen to be by the shadows of shadows. Grace be unto Lady Babylon. Thus it is written in the book of the law. Remember, all ye, that existence is pure joy, that all the sorrows are but as shadows. They pass and are done, but there is that which remains. Learn then that it is in the contemplation of division that sorrow is, for division is the formula of coronazon. It is herefore discreet for thee to unite each element of sorrow with its opposite, in whose triumph of hymen is ecstasy, until by apprehension of the new great opposite, the idea is again seen as sorrow. This then is the issue from sorrow. And thou mayst understand that I now also am confident in the necessity of this my fall to prepare the formula of my exaltation. Therefore, my son, thus hail me, blessing and worship to the beast, the prophet of the lovely star.
On the forbidden secret, di arcano nefondo. O my son, learn this concerning magic, that the yang moveth, and thus giveth itself up eternally, but the yin moveth not, seeking ever to enclose or restrict, reproducing in its own likeness what impression soever it made thereon, yet without surrender. Now the Tao absorbeth all without reproduction, so then let the yang turn thereto, and not unto the yin. And that thou mayest understand this, I say, it is a mystery of OTO. For the sun ariseth not, and entereth to strike upon the high altar of the minister by the great western gates, but by the rose oriel doth he make way and progress in his pageant. O my son, the doors of silver are wide open, and they tempt thee with their beauty. But by the narrow portal of pure gold shalt thou come nobly to thy sanctuary. Behold, thou knowest not how perfect is this magic. It is the dearest bought and holiest of our arcana. What then is like unto my love toward thee, that bestoweth upon thee this treasure of my wisdom? My son, neglect it not, for it is the exorcism of exorcisms, and the enchantment of enchantments.
On the secret through which any spirit is received in the body, de arcano per quad spiritus quidam in corpore recipitur. Here now is another formula of power, good to invoke any being to manifest in thyself. First invoke him by the power of all thy spells and conjurations, with mind concentrated and will vehement toward him, as I have written in many books. But because thou art Nemo, thou mayest safely invoke him, no matter of what nature, within thy circle. Now, then, do thou confer on him, as the guerdon of his obedience, the dignity of a soul seeking incarnation, and so proceed to consecrate thine act by performing the Mass of the Holy Ghost. Then shall that spirit make himself body from those elements, and thou partaking themselves, maketh thine own body his machinery of manifestation, and thus mayest thou work with any spirit soever, yet this shall serve thee most in common life. Also the qualities are well defined in the cards of the tarot, so that thou hast a clear-cut means of developing thy powers according to the need of time. But learn also this, to work constantly under the guidance of thine holy guardian angel, so that thy workings be always in harmony and accord with thine true will.
On the Kabbalistic key of this art, de clave Kabbalistica hueas artis. Now then, to thee who art long since master of high magic, it will be easy to shew how the Mass of the Holy Ghost, sung even in ignorance, may work many a wonder, by virtue of the force generated being compelled to manifest on other than its own plane. Here then is a theory of the mystery of the Aeon, that I, being the Logos appointed thereunto, did create an image of my little universe in the mind of the woman of scarlet. That is, I manifested my whole magical self in her mind. Thus then, in her, as in a mirror, have I been able to interpret myself to myself. Thou also, in thine own way, hast he power to create such an image, but be thou sure and alert, testing constantly the persons in that image by the holy Kabbalah and by the true signs of brotherhood. For each person herein shall be a part of thyself, made individual and perfect, able to instruct thee in thy path. Yet often there shall be others that are to aid thee in thy working, or to oppose it. And in this matter thou shalt read especially the record of thy father his workings with Sorarahita, blessed be her name unto the ages, and certain others to boot.
On the Mass of the Holy Ghost, De Missa Spiritus Sancti. Now at last, O my son, may I being thee to understand the truth of this formula that is hidden in the Mass of the Holy Ghost. For Horus, that is Lord of the Aeon, is the child crowned and conquering. The formula of Osiris was, as thou knowest, a word of death, that is, the force lay long in darkness, and by putrefaction came to resurrection. But we take living things, and pour in life and nature of our own will, so that instantly and without corruption the child, as it were the word of that will, is generated, and again immediately taketh up his habitation among us to manifest in force and fire. This Mass of the Holy Ghost is then the true formula of the magic of the Aeon of Horus. Blessed be he in his name, Ra-Hor-Kut. And thou shalt bless also the name of our Father Merlin, Frater Superior of the OTO, for that by 7 years of apprenticeship in his school did I discover his most excellent way of magic. Be thou diligent, O my son, for in this wondrous art is no more toil, sorrow, and disappointment, as it was in the dead aeon of the slain gods.